Different countries around the world will tell you that they want to diversify their economies, whether it be from oil or agriculture, or in one case, in the case of Botswana, it's from diamonds. The sinking diamond prices has Botswana, one of the world's largest producers by value, looking for ways to increase demand and diversify the economy. Now, it's natural stones. They've dropped about 40% from their peak. One of the main reasons, of course, is lab-grown stones have been getting some attraction. And that, of course, there was a change. Debswana, a joint venture between Botswana government and the De Beers, saw sale falls revenue nearly 50%. Attributed to the rising demand, as I say, for these other types. And that's one of the reasons why Botswana is looking to take a controlling interest in De Beers. Botswana's President Duma Boko joins me now. Mr. President, good to see you, sir. Thank you. This diversification from, it's a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, you want to diversify from, the diamond industry, but at the same time you're trying to take a more than 50% stake in De Beers, which would in a sense put you back into the same position. So which is it?
Well, diversification for us is aimed at reducing the over-reliance that we have had on diamonds over the years, which has resulted in us being a monosectoral economy. We want to maintain our hold in the diamond sector. We want to strategically control the sector and reform it as we go forward. But we also diversify within the mining sector in Botswana. We have other minerals. We have rare earth minerals. We have an abundance of other minerals which we haven't quite exploited. And one of the things that we're going to ensure we do is to process and beneficiate many of these minerals in country, create jobs and add value. This is what we're looking to do.
That's an excellent idea for how not to repeat the mistakes of the past. In other words, if you're going to take the rare earth minerals out, make sure that the processing, the value added, is done in your country and not somewhere else. That has to be key if it's going to give you the benefits you seek.
It certainly is. It certainly is. That's what we're looking to do. That's where we are going as a country. So we are diversifying within mining. We are reducing our over-reliance on diamonds. We are also scaling up our marketing of natural diamonds and ensuring that their rarity, their provenance, and their differentiation set them apart from synthetic diamonds. And so they will continue to appeal, because of their rarity and specialness, to the discerning buyer, to a market that is somewhat discreet and insular, if we may put it that way.
Discerning buyers and the synthetic, the way you said it all. Mr. President, intra-Africa trade, it's one of the things it's a bit like sort of motherhood and apple pie. Everybody says they want it. Everybody says it's going to be great. Everybody only wishes there was more of it, and it never actually happens. The reality is, as global trade becomes more difficult, largely as a result of US tariffs, etc., but intra-Africa trade could be a great benefit. What do you see as the big problem?
The first challenge really is the lack of interconnections between African countries themselves. We are now beginning to address that by ensuring that we develop trade corridors. The Lobito corridor, the Nacala corridor, and others are intended to ensure that we're able to move produce and products from one end to the other efficiently and affordably. The second thing we're going to do is, and we're trying to do, is to ensure that we increase the volume of inter-Africa trade, so that we can aggregate among African producers. They can trade amongst themselves, and we need digital platforms that are seamless and that facilitate this kind of trade and make it borderless and seamless.
You saw the US announce that sort of a golden visa, an immigration-based visa. I know this is something that you've looked at in Botswana as a way of an immigration or a citizenship visa for investment. What for you is the attraction of this idea of the global citizen visa, or investment, I should say?
Well, we are a very small population. We have relied, as I've indicated, on a single commodity. We need to move away and identify other income-generating means and streams. Citizenship by investment is one such way in which we will enable investors to come in, deploy their finance, deploy their resources, acquire citizenship for deploying those investments, and be able to participate in powering our economy, because we want our growth to be private sector led.
One final thought occurs to me. You came into power just a year ago, within last year, and a great wave of support. First change of government in recent history, a huge amount riding on your shoulders of change. Is the job bigger than you'd imagined it was going to be to turn this round, and are you enjoying it?
Well, I am. I anticipated that there would be challenges. I believe that I am up to the challenges. Happily, I enjoy the full support, the faith and confidence of the vast majority of the people of Botswana who voted. They still maintain a lot of faith in their government, and we are doing everything we can to turn around the economy, to digitalize it, to focus on agriculture and agro-processing, to ensure that we beneficiate our minerals and we grow the economy and create the jobs that they need. That's what we are on now, and it's going reasonably well so far.
Congratulations on your new national holiday, at least this year, the 29th of September. You're celebrating the historic gold medal victory in the men's 4x400 meter relay at the World Athletics Championships. You know a national holiday costs you on your GDP.
A national holiday enables our people to express their happiness, to go out into the streets, and to come back revived, rejuvenated, happy, and even more productive. So what on the face of it we may seem to lose, I think we'll gain it 100-fold in the productivity and the zeal that people will return with.
Couldn't have put it better myself. Mr. President, I look forward to our next interview, and hopefully it will be in Botswana. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I look forward to it.